Welcome to PM Untold, Unlocking the Path to Success. This podcast unravels the hidden stories behind exceptional leadership to excel in your own leadership endeavors. Brought to you by the collaboration of PMI Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Subscribe to PM Untold today and join us as we redefine leadership one story at a time.
Welcome to PM Untold. I'm Samantha Dula, and I'll be your host. I'm an American project manager residing in Luxembourg and a member of the Luxembourg PMI Chapter. Our guests today are Anja Vandenbergh, the president of the Belgium PMI Chapter, and Richard Woodham, president of the Luxembourg Chapter. So today you're in for a treat as we'll host our holiday end-of-year reflection episode for 2024. So welcome, Richard and Anja.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're thrilled to have you both join us and for y'all to share your valuable insights and expertise with us today. As we wrap up the end of the year, we'll take a moment to just reflect and dive into how our listeners can set themselves up for success and growth in 2025. So let's begin and dive right in. Anja and Richard, first, could you both please tell us a bit more about yourself and your background? And I'll have Anja, if you'll go ahead and you can answer that question first for us.
My name is Anja Vandenbergh. I'm a freelance consultant in project management, for almost 20 years, giving training in project management, in MS Project, software tool for project planning. And I'm now also coaching project managers in companies with their projects. And that's why, that's my background.
Great. And then Richard, what about you?
Hi, I'm Richard Woodham. I'm a Luxembourg UK national. I have 35 years of technology, people, and project management on European-wide, large-scale kind of digital transformations and projects and programs. I was raised in Latin America, so I spent my youth in Central and South America, where my father was running big projects in the agricultural sector. So I speak fluent Spanish, and I have a great affinity with North America and Latin America. And my wife is Dutch, and my two daughters are Dutch. So I'm very much keen on the kind of like the Benelux integration.
Nice. This is very nice. Well, welcome to you both. And I'm curious now, what got you into the project management world, Anja?
Well, it was my first assignment as a trainer in project management with the famous company IBM in Belgium. And they said, well, if we want to have you as a trainer in project management, you need to have some deep dive into the project management methodology. And that's the reason why I became a member of PMI, because they were pointing towards PMI. And then I deep dived into the PMBOK, the framework, the methodology. And I became a member of the PMI Belgium chapter in 2004. And when I met Chris Kindermans, he said, I need you on my project and I said, okay, well, if I want to know how projects are done with following PMI, I need to be a volunteer. And that's the reason why I became involved in project management.
Great. Oh, this is so interesting. And then Richard, what about you?
So I graduated in 1988 with a degree in business computing. And I initially started my career doing software development on banking systems, but I wasn't a very good software developer. But I was very good at integrating different technologies and databases and network and hardware and operating systems and then applications. So I did a lot of projects with IT service providers like Olivetti and CRI and in the EU, across Europe. And so we were kind of delivering things very well, but a little bit in an ad hoc way without really any kind of plans. And when we were kind of leading up to year 2K, there was so much work that we kind of said, okay, we need to kind of like start to kind of structure things and have planning. So I kind of brought together my technology expertise, but overrode it with kind of like planning and schedules and resourcing and budgeting, and in order to kind of make things better delivered. And then I went on to lead very big programs, and I was doing it kind of on an ad hoc basis, but also I did an MBA, so we did project management there. And then fundamentally, probably about kind of like 20 years after doing that, I realized that I needed to kind of, do the PMP to give a bit of framework around it, which I eventually did in 2015. So it was kind of really for me doing other jobs and then realizing that kind of like project management was a skill which would help you to get better success. So.
Okay, yeah, and this makes sense. And do you have any insight too on maybe some inspiration maybe there that
Yeah, certainly. So, I mean, what I kind of like is really particularly within is I get a lot of inspiration from sort of young people and young professionals and their ideas and enthusiasm, and also the interactions that we have at like the PMI, the local level, the regional level, the global events. And I'm quite sort of interested in people who are prepared to call things out. I think they give they make think things through. And I suppose from my point of view, that I think generally over the last 2 or 3 years, PMI and the PMI community has been done quite a good job in terms of expressing cultural values. And I think in terms of what we do and in terms of kind of like the profession, I think those cultural values are very helpful, and I find them quite they're very good for guidance, and I find them quite inspiring.
And Anja, you too, what type of inspiration do you find yourself as president of the Belgium chapter and a project manager?
Well, the inspiration that I find is always the interaction with the people. Also, when I do the training and the coaching in project management, it's always the interaction to explain why project management is very important in even what they are doing as a daily job or their operational job. And then you realize sometimes that they do it in a different way, but when they see the structure behind, they do like, this is a better way to do it. So it's the interaction with people, and we learn from each other. So it's like always going from a chaotic way to a structured way, and from a structured way back to a chaotic way sometimes. But we go with the flow in adapting all the different things. And it's the interaction with the people. Also in PMI Belgium, as the president, it's always making the members feeling at home, feeling like you're welcome, whatever your industry or learning path was, or your career path was, or whatever you're doing. In PMI Belgium, you have the home base. You can come here with your servers, with your questions, and we can see how we can deal it. So they don't have to burden their family and their friends with, I have a project and this and this. So yeah, it's mostly the interaction with people.
And then I'm wondering too, I'm a little curious, do you have an untold story from your career so far in project management that you really find that has helped you shape your approach to project management and your leadership role so far, Anja?
An untold story.
Yeah, if you can
Yes.
think of one, either of you.
Yeah, I have one. When I was first a volunteer in the PMI, it was in that time that the PMI Benelux Day, the Congress that was organized with the three countries, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. And I was engaged by Chris Kindermans. He was the project manager at that time, to look for speakers and to look for the things. And I said, but I'm also a marketeer. I'm a marketing, sales and marketing from my studies and a business management. And I said, but I'm going to make sure that your marketing and your communication level is a little bit higher than what I saw in the beginning, in the past. And then at a certain moment, I arrived there with the template for the PowerPoint presentation for the speakers. I came with banners with all the background around the posters. And they say oh, wait, our Congress is going a little bit on a higher level with much more merchandise and marketing and branding. And yeah, and that was the first time that all speakers in the Congress were having the same presentation layout, even if the topic was different, but you could feel from all the speakers were on one line, and it was like okay, this is the branding. Yeah.
Very nice. That's awesome. And then for Richard, did you have one?
Yeah. So after I came back from after I'd completed my MBA at MIT Sloan in Boston, I came back to Luxembourg, and I took over quite a big team. And they'd been working on a project for about 2 years and billing quite a lot, but not delivering anything. And for about the first year, 9 months of the contract, I just we tried to kind of and this was for a very big customer. We tried to a little bit hide how bad the situation was. And we would in terms of the level of progress, and we had a lot of technology issues, and it really came to a head kind of probably about 9 months into the project, and then there was a very big kind of like explosion, and we got through it. But I would say that the key kind of learning there is that you, particularly with the importance of like formal and informal kind of like stakeholder communication, and it's really what I kind of learned there is really that it's so important to call things out. And that the quicker that you call things out, the quicker that you can resolve the issues. So it's really about that kind of maintaining the communication, and I after that I used to kind of adopt what I sort of call is keep expectations low, and people are rarely disappointed, but that you do that in a very measured way, and that the sooner that you call out problems, the quicker that you can reach a consensus on how to deliver them, how to resolve them. So.
And then kind of going and pivoting a little bit we'll kind of dive into what you find was the biggest challenge that your chapter faced this year, and how you believe that you have overcome it, or did you overcome it? If there's one or two.
I sort of looked at that, and the for me, the biggest challenge that we've had in Luxembourg this year is really in the wider Luxembourg community, getting interest on the various topics around project management within the institution, within the kind of like educational institutions, within companies, and also, and you know, we've done quite a lot of things of presentations to places like the Luxembourg School of Business, the Young Entrepreneurs, really on what project management training can offer. But we're really struggling to get the level of engagement that I think companies should be taking to this. And as part of that, I think, you know, I've done a lot of kind of work in trying to raise awareness around like PMP training and certification. So I would say that is, for me, the biggest challenge that we've had in Luxembourg, is really raising awareness in the Luxembourg community about the importance of this. And we really still haven't yet overcome that. And, you know, it will be continue to be an area of focus in 2025. But you'll see that when we talk about some of the things that we will do in 2025, that maybe the approach that we're going to take to it. So.
Great. Yeah, we'll dive into that.
Yes.
And Anja, I'm intrigued to see if you have any insight on your chapter, if there's some similarities or differences, and some things that you some challenges your chapter had this year.
Well, one of the biggest challenges that we had as a chapter is attracting volunteers and getting volunteers engaged in the activities of the chapter. And yeah, the first thing that I did there, because it was also the first item that was picked up by myself when I became the president in the beginning of the year, is that we don't have enough volunteers. We are lacking volunteers. We need to find a way. And I was saying, but okay, the only way is to communicate transparently on what is happening within PMI Belgium. And then when every time that the news letter was coming up, do you have some topics? I wrote articles and articles and articles about volunteering, about how to do it, how to balance, because volunteering is also the balance, finding the balance between work, family, friends, and volunteering work. It's a triple constraint, but in another way. And getting everything engaged and creating that home feeling from, okay, you can come home at PMI Belgium and we will help you with the volunteers. And when I heard that I had to organize the elections for the next board in 2025-26, I had suddenly 10 open positions. I said, oh, I need to change my whole board. Yeah, but you're never going to find volunteers because they are not coming. I said, I don't care. I'm going to find them. And I started talking to people in one-to-one, calling them, seeing where they were interested. And finally, at the end, I had 10 candidates. And they are now elected, and they are now my board for 2025-2026. So, yeah. They are, I found them, we did the elections, and yeah, they are coming on board next year. 10 new people, 10 volunteers, and they are eager to shape the future of PMI Belgium. So I'm very proud of this outcome.
Awesome. And that's a great segue for what are some of your goals for your chapter, and now that we're moving into 2025, and how do you plan to bring these goals that you have to life?
I'll start.
Yeah.
So in terms of the goals for us in Luxembourg in 2025. So in January, February, we're going to have a kickoff event for members, volunteers, and the wider community, where we would like to have a bit of fun. So that's one of the goals is that we have an event which is a bit of fun. The second one is that we want to kind of be able to, for our members and volunteers, we want to be able to allow them to be kind of exposed to things like the Barcelona, the Global Summit, and also the Barcelona Summit and the LIM. We will also we want to focus in 2025 around the whole area of the PMO. So we want to kind of bring people to Luxembourg in the April-May time, but with a focus around the PMO, because we think that will be an area of kind of interest to companies, and that we can raise awareness not so much about Luxembourg, but from a Benelux point of view, the level of expertise that we have around PMO across the whole area. So we will try and do something in Luxembourg in the April-May time, that we bring people to do that around PMO. Then the other area is around the kind of like the construction sector, which we think that then again at the Benelux level there could be quite a lot of traction. And then I would say that the final area is really that we're very excited about the joint Benelux summit, which will be in September 2025. And I would say then the final area is around preparing for single membership. So.
Great. This is all great things to look forward to. Yeah. And Anja, what about your chapter?
Well, for the goals of 2025, well, we had in 2024 project management day at the pharmaceutical industry. And it was really concentrated and focused on project management in the pharmaceutical area. And they were eager to have such a day next year again, not only for the pharmaceutical, because then we were thinking, okay, we have the construction area in Belgium, we have the metallurgy in Belgium, so we have the aerospace in Belgium. So we were aiming to go for separate days of project management in the R&D, pharmaceutical area, aerospace, and so on, and then level them up to the PMI Benelux Summit in September, so that they can really go have some small steps like a stairs, and then the higher level, the top level, is on the PMI Benelux Summit in September. And that's the way how we are going to work on our events this year. So we are going to focus on the PMI Benelux Summit, but also on the separate project management days for specific areas.
Ah, very nice. This is great to know what's coming up in the future and what we can look forward to. And now, is there any advice you would give to the project managers listening or future project managers listening to really help set themselves up for success in this new year? Any takeaways, Richard?
So I would say be curious, take risks, try things and new approaches, embrace AI in your way of working, and if you can, explore a new industry.
Great. And Anja, anything on your side?
Well, what I'm always aiming also in all my coaching sessions and training sessions is keep it simple. Don't make it complex. If you can explain your project to a child of 6 years, and they understand it, then you're good. Then you're just fine. Then you have to do it in the simple way. Indeed, I'm going to align with what Richard said, embrace curiosity, embrace AI, explore new adventures, new journeys, new paths, all the things, but always keep in mind, do it simple. Don't make it complex. It's already complex enough.
And yes. I have one follow on. So I recently came across a site which is called PM Peer. And what that site allows you to do is you put in, answer a few questions, and it gives you your project manager profile. And so for example, I'm a dynamic executor. So and you know, so I would encourage also project managers that they use tools like that, which allow them to, within a structure, to assess what their interests are, and also to assess what they're doing well and where they could improve, and to get a training plan based out of that. So and I was very impressed by this pmpeer.com, because it takes 2 minutes, and you know, it kind of it kind of reflected my view of myself. So which is but I thought it was quite interesting in the way that it did it. So yes.
Very nice. This is great to know. And do you have, either of you, just to kind of wrap up with our final question, do you have any reflections or maybe inspiring words for our project managers in the PMI, or maybe considering to join PMI as we step into 2025?
I would say that the key benefit of joining PMI, where we're in, particularly in Europe, I think in quite a tough work environment, in you know, in terms of people finding work, is that the great benefit of the PMI community is that there is a kind of support structure. There are training elements. So I would say that, you know, the huge benefit of PMI, if you're entering the profession, if you're midway through the profession, or if you're, you know, like looking at retirement, is that, you know, it's an environment and it's a community which is supportive. And also, I believe now, if you're interested in project management, that it's really leading the world. And the latest research that they've done related to the kind of the value and success factors, I think is really a stepping point, which will eventually be adopted in a lot of different areas. So I think those are the reasons that, you know, why PMI is a really good home for people. So
Nice. And Anja, did you have anything and anything for our project managers listening who may be considering joining the chapter or may already be part of the chapter?
Yeah, what I would like to say, and I'm going to align with what already Richard mentioned several times, and now the key benefits is when you become a member of PMI, the community, is that you enter a family, you enter a new network, and where you can learn, where you can be valued from all your expertise that you have, and you can always grow in whatever area you are going in with project management. And you can ask questions. There is no competition in this area. It's like everyone shares their expertise, they give an added value, and they don't see you like a competitor. You are in a family, in a network, that is valued, and that is key benefit, because if you look at other networks, other communities, it is always on a competitive level. And here it is like always for PMI. You are a member of PMI. You have questions of project management. I face the same problem, and here is my advice. Here is my solution. You can use it. You can do it. I don't care. We are together in one area, in one topic in project management. And that is one of the key benefits that you have. Even if you join a chapter event and you learn about a speaker, a topic, a specific topic of project management. After the topic, it's always networking, connecting together, talking to other people and sharing expertise and best practices. And that is what is the key benefits of this PMI community.
Nice. This is so true. And I just want to thank you both today for joining us and sharing your insights here.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the preparation of the questions. I think it was
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And then I know I'm personally a member of the Luxembourg PMI chapter, and so I truly appreciated learning more about what's to come for next year. And really the insider knowledge that you've shared today, as well as the benefits really of being a PMI member for those who may not be yet. So I do really encourage any of our listeners to consider joining a local chapter, whether it's the Luxembourg chapter or the Belgium chapter with Anja. And, you can become a part, of a larger network.
Yeah.
It can be any chapter in the Benelux, or even if you're like even if you're like neighboring in France or neighboring in Germany, we are ambivalent. That's not a very good word, is it? Exactly.
But so. I'm going to say something more. That when you travel during your holidays, and you know that in that country there is a chapter, you can always find a connection, and you can always find very nice restaurants that even the tourists don't know because they know the local ones. And that is one of the other benefits of being a PMI member, is that you can really I'm going to Malta. Okay, there is a chapter in Malta. Okay, is there an event? Is there something? Yeah, and you can talk and you can share, even if you're traveling. So.
Yes, this is so true. It's a global community that we are part of, and this makes it all that much more valuable. And so, if you really liked what you heard today, consider joining, and don't forget to subscribe for our new episodes for 2025, the new year. And leave us a review if you enjoyed this episode, or if you have any questions related to either chapter, and we can have some insight maybe provided by Richard or Anja if you have any follow-up. And of course, thanks so much to listening to our episode today. And I just want to say happy holidays to you all. And
happy holidays. Yes.
Happy holidays.
And that we're just so much looking forward to the upcoming events and opportunities in the Benelux PMI chapters. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to PM Untold. From groundbreaking innovations to nurturing high-performing teams, we are your go-to resource for mastering leadership. For questions or suggestions, contact us at beneluxpodcast@pmi.lu. Subscribe to PM Untold today as we redefine leadership one story at a time. Stay inspired